Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name's Tiffany. I'm a new mum. I've been trying at this YouTube thing for a while, never really succeeded, but I'm a mum now and I feel like I've got a new lease of life for vlogging and filming. I feel like I've finally got something to talk about, and if you're an OG, welcome back. You already know what I'm like and how much I like to gabble on. I'm going to do a video today. I'm not really sure massively what to call it because it's a bit of a mixture of things. I wanted to call it things that no one tells you about postpartum, but then I feel like some of the things I'm going to talk about are definitely things that I knew about, but I just feel like people don't talk about enough, and they're not kind of open enough about it. I don't think anyway. I certainly had no idea to what like magnitude I would feel these things or how it would be. But I'm just going to gabble on, and just maybe there's something you can relate to. I don't know, maybe I'm not relatable at all and you're like, no, that's not how I found postpartum, but I can guarantee my openness will be appreciated no matter what. Probably a bit TMI, I'm very much an oversharer, but I'm just going to get into it. I've got some little notes because I didn't want to miss anything or gabble on and lose my points, so please excuse that. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is how much your skin darkens in certain areas and the smell. So from about 30 weeks, I think it was, I've never had, again, we're jumping straight in with the TMI one now and I'm really exposing myself. However, I've never really had an armpit smell. I've been really lucky. I'm one of these girls, I probably could get away with not wearing deodorant. However, not in pregnancy, no, and not post-pregnancy either. No, my armpits have got a completely different smell and it actually makes me feel sick. I very much can smell myself, and at work I was like, Jasmine, do I smell? She was like, I can't smell you, and she's genuine. I know she'd tell me if she could. She was like, I can't, but for me, the smell of my armpits was just like nothing I've ever experienced before. I've looked into it and it is to do with hormones, obviously, and to do with breastfeeding, the whole breastfeeding thing, and that it helps baby find the nipple apparently. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that, but that's what I researched. And the armpit skin underneath just went absolute, like I'd not, oh, it was just, yeah, completely different colour. My groin went a completely different colour. And like I say, I think I knew about the discoloration. I did not know about the smell. Nobody told me about that. Maybe I'm just alone in it. Let me know in the comments. I want to start a conversation on this. Did you experience the same? Because I mean, I'm 3 weeks past having her now and the smell is going away, but I'm one of these people, I put fragrant shower gel on, I layer my scents, so I really like smelling good, and for me, it's really got me down. I know it's pathetic, but if I don't smell nice, I think it's like when you're having a bad hair day. When you're having a bad hair day, she says, every day is a bad hair day now, I'm a mum. It just gets you down, and that's how I feel about my armpits. I'm just like, I can smell them, no one else can. I've asked my husband, he's like, no Tiff. I'm like, to me, I literally smell like Shrek, how I imagine Shrek to smell. The next point I would like to bring up is nappies. Why does nobody talk about adult nappies? Everyone talks about, oh, you'll need a really thick pad because you bleed a lot afterwards. I've got some of them in here, like the thick sanitary towels. No, I don't agree. I think you need an adult nappy, and they're glorious. I did speak about it in my video, which, I mean, oh, here we go. These are what everyone said I would need. Wrong. Wrong-o. These are like wearing a piece of cardboard in your pants. They're so uncomfortable. Did not get on with them at all. They're so long. They've got 2 sets of wings on them, and I don't know where the second wing goes. I'm like, there's no space for the second wing. We've got big pants on. They're not going anywhere. Did not like these at all, hence why they're unopened. They came as a 2-pack and I'm not using the other ones. These, however, were great. I had proper adult nappies when I was in hospital, and then since I've been home, these have been great. Because again, I knew that you bled after birth. I had a C-section. I don't know if it's worse when you give birth any other way, like there's loads of options, Tiff. You know what I mean. I'm just a big advocate for the big nappy. I literally was so comfortable in hospital wearing my adult nappy. I had no worries that I was going to leak. They just caught everything. They were so absorbent. They were kind on my tummy scar. I just really liked them. But again, no one really, I don't know whether it's because people are embarrassed. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was embarrassed. When I was in hospital, I had to get Sean to change my adult nappy for me. And you know, he'd never seen blood. You know, I'm very private. Like, I'm the sort of girl that, like, I've never even weed in front of my husband. I'm very much like, the bathroom has a lock on it for a reason. Do not come in. This is my sacred space. You don't interrupt me when I'm in the bathroom, Sean. And he's fine with that. But I very much was like, help me. When I was in the hospital, because I'd had a C-section, I couldn't bend down. So, like, I remember going to the loo in the hospital, having a wee, and then obviously I bled a lot. And the pants dropped to the floor by accident, like they'd fallen on my legs, and I was like, no, because I knew I could not, and I literally sat there trying to flick it up like a footballer, like try and flick the pants back on, like even to knee height, and then I could handle it. And I ended up going, Sean, and he came in and he was like, it's all right, pulling my pants up. And then from that point onwards, I was just like, can you change my nappy for me? And again, it's something that no one really speaks about, and I'm like, why does no one tell me about this? And now I said it to my friend Gemma. I was like, did you wear nappies? And she was like, oh, bring back the nappies. Like, everyone loves them when you talk about it, but I just feel like until you've experienced the adult nappy, no one tells you about it. My sister-in-law was the only one that was like, look, take some nappies in, take some pads, see which one you get on with. And I was like, why would I need an adult nappy? I'm not going to wet myself, I'm not going to do this, that and the other. And she's like, no, it's for the blood. So yeah, just want to talk about that. Just be prepared, guys, and get yourself some adult nappies. The next thing I'd like to talk about, I feel like I'm a teacher. I'm like, right guys, the next thing, injections. Nobody told me really, until I asked the question, about blood thinners. Now, I just assumed if you had a straightforward birth, which I didn't have, but you know, at this point in time, I didn't know what my birth was going to go like, so I could have had a straightforward one. I just assumed if you had a straightforward birth with no complications, etc., you would just be free to leave, get on with your life. No, apparently they give blood thinners to nearly everybody now. Now, the reason I like to bring it up is because I'm massively needle phobic. Oh, hello. Giving you a right little treat there, aren't I? Sorry about that. I'm needle phobic. I couldn't even prick my finger in pregnancy because I had gestational diabetes. I had to have the Libra installed because it was just a no-go, and I'm okay with that. Like, you can't help your fears. I was really embarrassed about my needle phobia for a long time, cried about it in front of the nurses and doctors because I felt like such an idiot for saying, like, I can't prick my finger, I can't inject myself. However, the blood thinners are really painful. I'll try it, if I'm brave enough, I will include a little picture of my bruise on my stomach. My stomach is black and blue, and although the injection is not particularly big or anything like that, I've had to get Sean to do it, which is a big thing for him because he doesn't want to do it. I definitely could not do it to myself. And it's a lot, you know, like when you're already feeling quite low, to then do something like that, I just wasn't expecting it. Now, they also put me on them for 6 weeks. Most people get 10 days. I got 6 weeks because of my surgery and my BMI, and yeah, I was just like, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm hating it. I'm not enjoying it. I absolutely hate it, if I'm completely honest with you. It's something I dread. I have to put numbing cream on, and that is something I'd like to recommend in this video. Do you know what? I feel very tired. I'm sorry if I look like I'm falling asleep. It's because I probably am inside. I do apologise. This is just mum life now. But I think it's the ring light. When I get closer to it, I'm like, you're feeling sleepy. So yeah, how many times can I say in a video? I'm going to really annoy myself now when I come to edit. But I must say, is it Elma cream? Elma cream has saved my life. I I put the numbing cream on about an hour before Sean injects me, and it has saved me. I'll be honest, it makes it so I can't really feel it, and whether that psychologically helps me or it physically helps me, either way I'll take it, and it's something I really would recommend if you're needle phobic or if you're just finding them incredibly painful, because they're not nice injections. But yeah, I just thought I'd let you know that. Sorry if you're about to give birth and you didn't know about that. It's not a barrel of laughs, and after all of what you've been through, you just would be left alone and like no medication, and then you've got to have these injections every day. So just thought I'd let you know. The next thing I want to talk about is emotions. Now obviously this is why I wasn't sure what to title the video, because obviously we all talk about how emotions are very high. Your hormones are all over the place when you give birth, and that of course I knew. I don't know whether it was because we tried for so long for Olive, and I just still cannot believe that we have her. I don't know if it's that part of it, but I just cry all the time. Happy tears, a bit of music will come on, I cry. I found it quite difficult the first 3 weeks. We don't have any family support. I don't speak to my family, so they are actually local, so we don't have that support. My in-laws are fantastic, but they live quite far away. They're not just like on the doorstep. So you know, sometimes when you just feel like you just need a bit of support, or like someone that you can call or whatever. I've got fantastic friends, don't get me wrong, but yeah, we struggle with that. We have struggled with that. And you know, going forward, thinking about the future and work and stuff, and like how our lives will look, that has come into it, and you're sort of thinking, oh god, this is going to be hard. But you know, there's lots of people that do it, so it's fine. But I just sit and I just look at her and I just cry, and I just think, wow. And the love is just like insatiable. Like, you know, they say you can't describe it. You really can't. It is just like your heart is now walking around outside your body. I cannot tell you. I thought I knew what love was. I did not. I did not know what love was until she entered the world. I'm gonna try not to cry about it, but it is just the most amazing thing, and I'm so grateful that I get to experience it, because I honestly did not think that I would get to experience it. So I think that's why I sit there and I cry, and I sing to her and I start crying. I'm like, this is just ridiculous. And I'm wondering, I mean, the first 5 days was heavy. I cried a lot. And something else I want to start talking about as well with the crying, I had a lot of trauma nightmares because my birth was difficult and totally not what I expected. I will do a birth video, and I had like trauma nightmares, and I didn't know about night sweats either. I would wake up, it's something to do with the drop of your estrogen, but the night sweats are horrendous. And if that's what it's like being in the menopause, I don't want it. I don't want it. It's horrendous. I was like dripping. I'd wake up from a nightmare, which also makes you hot, doesn't it? But yeah, these night sweats, I would just wake up dripping. And I spoke to my sister-in-law about it, and she was like, yeah, it's completely normal. It's like the drop in your hormones. But again, didn't know about it until I had to ask. So look out for that. I think they last about 4 or 5 days. But yeah, the emotions that come from having a baby are just like nothing it's a wild ride, girls. It really knocked me for six how much you can love something like with basically no personality that gives you so little back, because when they're newborn they just take from you. Obviously they're just there, aren't they? But you just look at them, and I'm just so in awe that I'm like I created this. How can I be going grey? So like every part of me is dying but I've created this perfect little human, and I just, yeah, just so in love, guys, so in love. So on that theme of emotions, this is a bit of like a taboo subject, and I wonder if anybody else has ever felt like this. Not saying that I never worried about dying before I had a baby, but I've definitely started thinking about my own mortality more. It is mortality, isn't it? And like worrying about dying and leaving her alone, and yeah, just worrying about death, worrying about Sean dying and leaving us, worrying about me dying and leaving us, and just wishing that I could have had babies sooner. I know that there was nothing I could do about it. We had babies when we had babies. it was her time to come when it was her time to come. But yeah, I've just been wishing I could have had her sooner so that we could have had longer together. And it's a really dark place to be thinking about, because I should just be happy, but I know a lot of parents have spoken about that they start thinking about their own death and their own health a lot more, and just wanting to stick around for as long as humanly possible to spend all that time with her. So that's been on my mind a lot. And sorry about that, my SD card ran out. So professional. Work guilt. This is the last topic I'm going to speak about, and then I'm going to go, because I feel like I've just gabbled on and I'm just not sure if anyone's on my wavelength. You might just be thinking, no Tiff, never experienced any of those. I'm hoping I'm going to build a community of girls that like can relate to this pregnancy stuff. Anyway, work guilt. I run my own business and I don't get the traditional mat leave off that everybody else gets, so I don't know if this is different, but I'm just finding it really challenging to sort of fully like disengage myself with my business, because I just can't. We're a very small team, and obviously I love what I do, but I also have waited my whole life to be a mum. It's what I've always wanted to do. It's my only like real goal that I hadn't accomplished, and now I'm a mum. Obviously I want to spend so much time with her, like as much time as I physically can, but I also, on the flip side, I want to do amazing things with her. Like I want to go on these family holidays. I want to make sure she has like all, I don't want to make her spoiled, but like want her to have the things that I want her to have, and you know, that all comes at a cost. And I'm like, to get that I need to work hard, and there's a real fire in my belly now that says, work hard Tiff, make that coin, and give Olive like everything that, you know, yeah, she's already got everything she needs, but you know what I mean, like the cost of living and stuff, it plays heavy on my mind. And I just feel so guilty because like I say, we don't have family that we speak to here, so it's like we don't have a support system where I can like leave her with my mum, or it's not like that. So I very much had to sort of like think of solutions or ways around how I could go back to work, or how I could make it work, or how I could stay on mat leave. It's been really, really tricky, and yeah, I've struggled with it. And I know a lot of my self-employed friends have also felt the same. The maternity pay for self-employed is absolutely ridiculous. I hate to moan about it, because I guess should be grateful we get anything at all, but when I know how much I pay into the system, I get £600 a month, and I'm like, how does anyone live on that? How? Because obviously you live to your means, don't you? And before I was pregnant, I didn't earn £600. I put equal to my husband in, and you know, we had a nice life and we had what we could afford. So obviously now we can't afford that on £600. So yeah, it's just a bit of it's an emotional one, because you sort of feel like you've got to make a choice, and it's not always the easiest choice. So I just wonder if anyone else has ever been in that boat, and just learning to as well like slow down, take a step back. It is okay not to work all the time, Tiff. Like, I think because when I struggled with infertility, Chunky Dunks, my business, became my baby, and I poured everything into that, and it was successful and it did well and I was good at it, and that was my baby. And now I have an actual baby. It's difficult to sort of step away from it entirely. I'm so lucky I've got Jasmine. She is an amazing friend. She looks after that business so well, and I'm really grateful for it. But there's just this guilt, and also I miss her. I miss work, but then when I'm, you know, if I was to go to work, I'd miss Olive. So oh, it's really hard. It's really hard. I popped in to see Jasmine once and I was like, I miss my baby. I wasn't even working, I just was away from her for like an hour, and I missed her. It's ridiculous. Is this my life now? Will it get easier? Will I literally be like, get me out of the house? I want to spend a bit of time away. But at the moment, I'm just loving the baby bubble, and I don't know, I hope you have found something relatable in this video, and just appreciate my honesty with things, because I'll always be open and oversharer about things, even if it shades me and, you know, embarrasses me. But I just feel like it's important to talk about these things, because I was sitting Googling it and I couldn't find any videos on it, and I thought, God, am I normal that my armpits stink? Great. I don't know. And it, you know, like, I'm happy to talk about anybody with needle phobia or anything like that in the comments below, because again, I felt very alone with it, and the doctors looked at me like I was crazy. I'd had a C-section, yet I was crying over these blood thinners, and it's completely normal to have that fear. So if you want to chat about anything, drop me a comment below, and I'll stop going on because my battery is now flashing at me, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye.